Thank you for joining us here at War X. Michael McCormick sitting far away from ringside, where tonight that'll be a great idea with Carson Knightley.
Well, you know, I wouldn't want to be close to ringside with Team Dusty coming out later on tonight. I don't get along with Dusty Dillinger. I don't get along with anybody on his team. I don't even get along with you, McCormick.
Speaking of people who don't get along, I don't know that the Idol is going to like how this one turns out.
Interestingly enough, I would like to hear his rendition.
I got a feeling it's going to be pretty terrible.
Give him a second, he's just warming up.
Kind of sounds like someone's torturing a cat in the backyard. Take that. Bag of chips sounds really good right now.
Right here. I won't hurt you, I promise here. This is your way out. Right here.
Of course, one of the ladies that he's about to learn a very painful lesson from, being hardcore Heather Owens there in the middle.
Well, I guarantee the Idol could sing soprano at least right now.
Down goes the Idol. And say sayonara. Whatever language it is, Italian, Spanish, it doesn't matter. He can't sing it.
Yeah, but it just goes to prove that it takes 3 women to at least do the job of 1 man, though.
Here come the rest of the participants in the Battle Royal here. Thanks for joining us on War X. This is going to get insane as we try and keep up with the action, but especially spread across 2 rings. I don't know how well we're going to do that. There's the Nightmares. We just saw them get inducted into the War Wrestling Hall of Fame, and a huge thing, taking their masks off. First time they've ever been unmasked in Lima.
Absolutely, and you know what? This match is going to feature war wrestlers from the past and the present, so honestly, anybody could show up, even people we hadn't seen at the Hall of Fame ceremony.
I see Derek Hamilton, one of Crusher Klein's students, in there. He's the gentleman in the green and the kilt, coming down from Canada to be on the show to honor his mentor, Natos, who this roster has been rather familiar with in the last couple of months. And of course, Mr. Main Event, as well as Awesome Gary Dawson.
We haven't seen Awesome Gary Dawson in a War Wrestling ring for well over 3 or 4 years here.
Ed Gonzalez about to square off in the left ring over here in front of us as well. One of the Rockstar Pro conglomerate here tonight. Natos hung up on the ropes, tries to fight back, and he and Ed Gonzalez getting into it, as this is going to be nuts.
I see in the second ring over onto my left side there's Elvis Elliott in this match. Haven't seen Elvis Elliott in a war ring for about a year also.
Speaking of lunatics, look at the Nightmares, proving that even at their age they can still go. They did say during the Hall of Fame that they could probably go out and put a better match on than a lot of the boys. I guess here's their chance to prove it.
I'm not so sure about that, though. I mean, the Nightmares, they're past their prime, and just looking at them, I expect to see them at a Denny's after this match.
Awesome Gary Dawson actually tossed back inside the ring by his own brother, Elvis Elliott.
I don't think he's really exactly sure how a Battle Royal works.
I think it's one of those things where you always want to beat up on your little brother.
That could be true, but
what a perfect opportunity here tonight.
And if there's anybody I want to see get beat up, it's Awesome Gary Dawson.
Drew Skills, of course, one half of the tag team, the Soul Shooters, with Apollo Star, who will be featured later on in the main event. A lot of returning stars, and the fans can't seem to get enough of it. You know, I don't know who else is left.
And see these 2 girls over here on the right side of the ring, they were playing it safe, just standing back, and now they're all picking up on one man. See, that's what I think these women are doing. I think they're taking and going to make it a 3-on-1 this whole time. But when it comes right down to it, there can only be one winner in a battle royal.
Didn't see who it was, but whoever the crowd just threw, or whoever just got thrown out, the crowd loved it. I see beautiful Brian Fury hanging out in the corner. He's sort of in no man's land. He doesn't really have a team over there in that ring because you've got the Nightmares in one corner as well as all the ladies.
Well, beautiful Brian Fury just taking his shirt off, kind of showing that he's a ladies' man. And with a name like Beautiful Brian, I wouldn't exactly deny that.
The Nightmare's just taking it to him, using him as a punching bag. Down he goes. Derek Hamilton just got tossed from one ring to the other, not an elimination. As the only way you can be thrown out of this match, obviously, is to go over the top rope and hit the floor. Gary Dawson throwing some sick chops.
Mr. Main Event winding up and throwing a nice right hand of his own. Look at the six-pack on Mr. Main Event. I swear he's been doing P90X.
Mr. Main Event, of course, gave a pretty well-received, especially if you ask him, induction for the Hall of Fame a little bit ago for Al Snow. Of course, he was trained by Al Snow, as he so politely mentioned during his speech.
He's a very subtle guy.
Brian Fury just put on a referee shirt. I think he put it on backwards. Natos has actually switched rings, as the idea seems to be to there goes Brian Fury, but I think he held on the outside. The idea seems to be for the Nightmares to just sort of try and take everybody out.
And seeing the one thing in this match that's different from every other battle royal is depending upon what ring you're in, you only have 3 sides to eliminate your opponent on, because if you throw them out that 4th side, they're essentially going into the next ring, so they will not be eliminated.
Speaking of going into the next ring, Brian Fury thought he could take coverage in the ring to our left, but he took a right hand to the face from Mr. Main Event.
And Mr. Main Event none too shy about beating up on a woman, obviously not knowing her place in front of an oven.
Both Nightmares are gone now, as they've both been told by referee Jay Cortez to head to the back.
You sure they didn't pass out of exhaustion?
The women sort of owning the second ring here, and Natos is paying for it. I think he's reeling. He's a big man for anybody to try and get over. What a chop from Heather Owens.
And that's all it took was one well-placed clothesline.
Out goes Natos, and a couple more eliminations in the other side of the ring.
She had some top-heavy momentum helping her on that one, I believe.
We're paired down to 8. You've got 5 in the one ring. Drew Skills over there, and Ed Gonzalez as well. And the ladies taking control. Nobody's challenging them. They're sort of working together, which is an interesting theory till the end. Out goes Ed Gonzalez, paired down to 4 and 3, so the final 7. The ladies are doing the smart thing, taking a page out of your book.
That's
and just sort of hanging out.
Absolutely what I would do. Obviously, they're huge fans of Carson Knightley. Now everybody in the one ring. The women taking control of
Drew Skills threw out Tommy Wonder and a couple of men.
Brian Fury just getting chopped in the corner relentlessly. I don't know what that was.
He doesn't know where he's at. He walked over and took a shot at Drew Skills and then, well, took a shot of his own. He's self-professed ladies man, as he wasted no opportunity to tell everybody during his induction speech of the Nightmares.
He just showed it right there.
Low bridge out. Drew Skills is gone. I don't know that I want to be Brian Fury right now.
I would absolutely want to be Brian Fury right now.
So the women have been holding court. And I don't even think the referee shirt is going to help Fury now.
No, he's got no power in there whatsoever. But I believe Brian Fury will come out on top because a wrestling ring is no place for a woman, let alone 3 of them.
You're a terrible person.
I am a terrible person. I pride myself on that. Thank you.
Brian Fury is, I think at this point it might be a relief if they throw him out. The good news is he can stop getting his butt kicked by a bunch of girls.
And here comes that masked man that's been attacking War Wrestlers over the past several months.
What in the hell? How does this guy keep getting in?
I don't know, but I like his style. Unfortunately, he doesn't have ice in the back of his head.
In case you're wondering where exactly it was Brian Fury got the referee shirt, I now have an explanation as I see Billy Wright getting his referee shirt back. So he knocked Billy Wright to the floor and stole his shirt.
Better hurry up and put that shirt back on, Billy. Nobody wants to see that.
Whoever that masked man is, cowering in the corner.
Well, now it's coming down to a cat fight.
Heather Owens slugging it out here. This is not a battle I think she's going to fare very well in. You have to wonder what the thought process is for this masked man. Is he trying to prove a point? Is he trying to win?
Well, he wants to obviously win this battle royal. I mean, he's obviously been trying to make a point over the past several months, coming out attacking wrestlers from the back. And I'm interested in actually seeing him win and find out what his motives are.
I think you might get your wish. He did exactly that.
That was my pick from the start.
Somehow snuck in through the crowd, got on the show. What the hell?
Is that Grant Parker? I thought he was fired from War Wrestling.
He thought he was fired. How? Who let him in the building? And more importantly, why is he here?
I don't know, but he's at least got my attention now.
Feel free to bow down to your king of war, peasants.
Well, I don't know if I would go that far, and the fans don't seem to agree.
I don't know. I kind of like the attitude change.
Every one of you are probably asking why.
I'm asking that.
I'd like to know.
I don't really care what his answer is.
Because I wanted to. But the main reason is because it needed to be done. Quite frankly, each and every one of you, everybody in the back, everybody in this industry for that fact, you're all holding on to something that no longer exists. You're holding on to this
Manti Te'o's girlfriend?
of respect, this idea of tradition. What respect? What tradition? Every single person in the back, when I shake their hand, when I come into this building, each and every one of them is ready to stab me in the back.
It's all fine and dandy that he wants to talk about respect, but how is it respect jumping through the crowd and attacking everybody? Wearing a mask, no less.
That's just what I would call taking initiative.
And quite frankly, I've sat on the sidelines in War Wrestling for 8 years. Since 2004, I've been here. What have I gotten? Nothing. I'm upholding respect. I'm upholding tradition. What did it get me? Nothing.
A long line of guys that come before you who realize that you have to work for respect, especially here, not just have it given to you like he's trying to get.
Well, honestly, he's just taking respect.
What needs to happen in War Wrestling for this company to go into the future is that all of these ghosts of War Wrestling's past, they need to fade away and open up my spot stupid pieces of crap that are sitting there back right now. You know what I say?
There's a man the fans are in love with. Grant Parker is about to get his just desserts.
Well, it looks like Dexter DeMinch has been eating way too many desserts himself.
Grant Parker, you had better just run. I guess the mailman always does deliver.
Well, Grant Parker, you wanted respect. There it is. In the form of one disgruntled Dexter DeMinch.
And is that the postmaster? I guess you could say that Grant Parker's days are done here.
Ernie Balls, you want to talk about respect, you want to talk about tradition. Bottom line is, no one gives a shit about you.
Strong words from the guy that we are all lucky enough to be a part of this from.
Well, speak for yourself.
As far as I'm concerned, you want to talk about tradition, you want to talk about what you've done for the company. You haven't done shit for this company.
I think he just changed the rating on this DVD.
You can call me whatever, but one thing you can't say about me, I stay in the back and I just can't take your crap any longer.
And obviously from the reaction, the fans can't either. I can't blame them.
Ernie Balls, I wasn't even supposed to come out here because this show isn't about me. But some of the boys in the back told me you got this podcast and you start running your mouth about you've done this and you've done that. And that certain guys shouldn't be on the show, and you want to shoot from the hip, and you want to do this, you want to do that. Okay? That man right there, he may be fat, he may be out of shape, but guess what? Here's one thing I will tell you. He's more over than you ever will be.
More overweight, yes.
So guess what?
Stop it.
I'll leave you with this. You want an opportunity? You want to prove yourself? I'll give you that. But one thing I'm going to give you with the lasting impression. There's about 800 people here, right? Normally when you wrestle, they all go to the pisser and eat popcorn because you suck.
I could go for some popcorn right now.
You want to shoot? We can shoot. You can say whatever you want. You can say whatever you want to say about me, Ernie Balls. As far as I'm concerned, we can go to the parking lot.
What's in the parking lot?
And who's Ernie Balls? I thought it was Grant Parker.
Wow. Did he just spring through the ropes?
He must have thought there was a Krispy Kreme on the other side.
I guess they are going into the parking lot. I don't know why these guys are out here. These gentlemen in the ring, I use gentlemen very loosely. Obviously, Brian Fury, Scotty Saber, Mr. Main Event, and that gigantic, huge mountain of a man.
Excuse me. Everybody just take a little bit of time to realize
Dean Jablonski, or Dean Visk, depending on where you've seen him wrestle.
The co-founder of Hot Seat Productions, Mr. Main Event, and we also have the man, the monster. Look at this body work here. He can cut diamonds with his pecs. Understand this. You are now looking face to face to face to face with the best faction that has ever come out of this area, Hot Seat Productions. There is not anybody in the back tonight.
Now that's a pretty high mark. There have been some amazing factions here in War Wrestling.
Anybody back there
Absolutely.
to get your scared little bitty boy butt out here, and we will put you in your place next to the fat chick, next to the ugly dude, and next to chicken and waffles. Okay? That's what it's gonna be.
Well, I give these guys points just because Mr. Main Event is out with them. You know me, and I'm a high supporter of them.
Is there an invasion that to take place?
Not that I'm aware of, but people here in the UAW hall know exactly who these men are.
I think the fans know who that is. You want to talk about impressive factions? Here's your impressive faction. Jamie Cox, the Motor City Monster, as well as Nate Matson. You'll know them collectively by their name, the Michigan Invasion.
It's been a long time since we've seen Jamie Cox, Eddie Venom, and Nate Matson here.
I'm not gonna lie, I have goosebumps.
Well, even though they've got Michigan colors on, these Ohio fans are still supporting them.
Whoa, wait, guys. Hey, guys, just calm down just for a moment. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like some of these wonderful people in Lima remembers the Michigan Invasion. And you guys want to talk about how bad you guys are. You're the baddest faction that's ever come out of war. See, you forget about our credentials. We were here fighting the soul shooters. We were here fighting Delivery Inc. We were here beating up former WWE stars, the Highlanders. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was us that burned an Ohio State flag in the middle of this ring. Which ring?
Interestingly enough, half the crowd cheered that.
I remember that fondly. I would have done the same thing.
Truth Martini, he's got a message for you. Hail to the victors, hail the MII. If the challenge is put out there, the Michigan Invasion gladly accepts. Six-man tag, let's go. What do you say, Lima? You want to see the Michigan Invasion kick the crap out of these losers? What do you say, ladies?
Well, I would say the Michigan Invasion would be an obvious disadvantage because not only is Mr. Main Event out there, he's also got beautiful Brian Fury on the outside for them to contend with and worry about. He could be the wild card in this matchup.
Of course, Michigan Invasion didn't like that ring. They went to the other one. I wouldn't expect these guys to agree on anything. Further proving that the guy that, notable by his absence, that Nate Matson was referring to, the Truth, being the leader of the House of Truth, in Truth Martini up in Milwaukee tonight.
And Truth Martini has a long history here in War Wrestling. He was one of the most revered men in War Wrestling along with the Michigan Invasion, then becoming one of the most beloved factions that we had, interestingly enough.
One of the most interesting years in War Wrestling belongs to the Michigan Invasion. You're exactly right, when sort of a
I'm always right.
Reversal of fortune with, you would never think that guys from Michigan, especially Detroit, would ever be cheered here in Lima.
All these fans here in Lima are quite brain dead anyway. They cheer for a couple of rats fighting over a piece of cheese. Heck, a couple of them probably will go home to their trailer and do so.
You are awful. Are you in a bad mood?
I'm in the best mood possible.
You are an awful human being tonight.
That's just me being very nice.
I don't know about all that. The fans are not impressed with physiques here. What they are impressed with is guys like Nate Matson kicking people's butts.
Judging by the abs on Mr. Main Event's team, I'm about ready to call him the six-pack attack.
How long have you been waiting to use that one?
All of 5 minutes.
Billy Wright's going to attempt to keep order in this match, and I don't know how the hell that's going to go. As we go collar and elbow tie in the middle of the ring, Madsen's going to have to go on the defensive. I would think that if you're both teams, what you're going to try and do is try and get an advantage. You got the Motor City Monster Eddie Venom on one side, a massive human being, and Dean Visk on the other side. I think I just want to see them go at it.
Yeah, but either team, what they're going to want to do is they're going to want to get their opponent into their corner and keep that ring cut off from the other man. Keep them away from their team.
Mr. Main Event Sandy, Nate Madsen is guilty of pulling the hair. I don't know about all of that. Why exactly? It's there's 4 men on the, there we go. They finally got it. They need to send him to the back so that we can get this even. I don't know why Brian Fury insists on being out here. He already lost once tonight.
He's just out to give them his unconditional love and support. Dave Madsen locking up again on the wrong end of it with a knee.
Fans trying to get Nate Madsen. Nate Madsen, not that he...
Nate Madsen down in a bad way right now in a submission hold. Both arms wrenched back behind him, working on those shoulder blades.
So Brian Ireland and Nate Madsen squaring off in the middle of the ring. Both have been in the match the whole time, but Ireland got a little cocky, and a veteran like Madsen of over 15 years made him pay for it. Nate Madsen, not one of those guys you want to take lightly or ever give an opportunity to smack you in the face, because he'll hit you twice before you know it.
I do like smacking some people in the face. Nate Madsen showed up right there with a poke to the eye.
The battle of a 6-man tag here with two factions rather that started this out after the Battle Royal that have said they're the biggest faction, most important in War Wrestling history. Both have amazing credentials, as Hot Seat Productions just ran all over the territory back in the day. One of the most feared factions in all of Ohio during that time.
Absolutely, Hot Seat Productions was actually around when I started here in War Wrestling. I have very fond memories of them taking out everybody they were put up against.
Mr. Main Event didn't have quite as impressive of a workout regime, nor the beard game that he's got going on now back then. Well, Madsen's so quick for a veteran, turns Ireland inside out. Jamie Cox, I would say, the most unorthodox of the 3 men.
More like unhinged of the 3 men.
The most unorthodox, like I was saying, of the 3 men, but speaking of unorthodox, this is a guy who once hit a man in the face with a phone.
I remember that fondly.
He also got stabbed in his keister with a fork.
But out of these 2 men, Mr. Main Event has the better physique and obviously the better dance moves.
Here's a question for you. If Mr. Main Event and Jimmy Shane have a dance-off, will anybody care?
Absolutely, I would. I'd buy a front row ticket to that.
He is your hero. He doesn't seem to be Jamie Cox's favorite.
He is my hero, at least that's what he keeps telling me.
It's what his tights are emblazoned with.
And with a physique like that, how can I deny it?
I remember him having a lot more hair.
It's just growing down now.
like a reverse Chia Pet at this point. Madsen with a kick to the rear. Does the wise thing though, as Dean Visk sort of crawled into the ring. I'd have headed back outside. He's a large amount of man.
He's a very large man. But so is Eddie Venom.
They don't call him the Motor City Monster for, I guess, just the heck of it. He's grown a rather impressive beard. I don't know if he's auditioning for the next season of Duck Dynasty or what he's got going on there. You can see him in a bunch of national commercials. I guess he took his 5-hour energy today. Jamie Cox, a staggering Mr. Main Event. I don't think he knows where he is, let alone what year it is.
Well, Michigan Invasion surprisingly showing some brains here by cutting off the ring. Obviously, Dean Visk wanting to get into this matchup. He wants in very bad, but I think that's the last thing the Michigan Invasion wants.
I don't know where Mr. Main Event powdered out to. He went in the other ring, I guess, to sweep it up. Wants no part of the right hand of Jamie Cox, and I think we're gonna get what I want to see. These two behemoth mountain men square off. Totally different styles. I never thought I'd see a man that makes Dean Visk look small.
Only in height, McCormick, only in height. If you wanted pure muscle mass, Dean Visk has the lowest percentage of body fat of any wrestler in that locker room.
I don't know that I want to know how you know that.
I'm good with facts.
You're good with something.
Dean Visk just showing his power there, slamming Eddie Venom down to the mat.
Eddie Venom's 6'9", 285 pounds, and he made that look easy.
Dean Visk can make anything in your daily life look easy.
When he actually had and Dean Visk had or Dean Jablonski, whichever you want to call him, actually had a deal with, he worked out at Les Thatcher, one of the premier wrestling trainers in the Cincinnati area, a legendary promoter and wrestler himself. Trained him. He actually had a developmental deal with WWE for a long time. Interesting, some of the names that in 05 and 06 when he was there in OVW, guys like Kenny Dykstra, Bobby Lashley, the Boogeyman, a guy named CM Punk.
I think I've heard of him vaguely. But a list of worthy competitors nonetheless. Nothing to scoff at.
So a match he would like to win here, returning to Lima, proving they're the dominant faction. I think he sort of confused the MII rather. And they outsmarted him. Never seen those two, Madsen and Venom, move that fast collectively. Venom got pulled out.
Venom was pulled out by beautiful Brian Fury there.
And it's not as if the Hot Seat Productions guys are without their own credentials, like you said. So a group just as dangerous as the Michigan Invasion, maybe even more so, as it's a 4-on-3. Of course, the numbers proving to be fruitful there for him, as Brian Fury can't keep his nose out of it.
Well, I've always said, he who has the numbers has the advantage. Dean Visk working over Nate Madsen over there on the lower middle rope. The Michigan Invasion not doing any favors for their partner right now. But I never pegged them as the smart ones anyway.
He's, of course, just one of the extra features here at War X. We're calling it time-tested, fan-approved. I dare you to name me more than 3 companies in the independent scene with 10 years or more experience that are still growing like War Wrestling.
I dare you to name a company that actually draws a crowd as big as War Wrestling. We have one of our biggest crowds on hand tonight. I don't have an exact number in front of me, but believe me, it's astounding and almost standing room only.
Of course, when we did the Hall of Fame ceremony that you can see over on the DVD as well, when I was fortunate enough to host that, look out, and I could not see any empty seats in the entire building. So a testament to not only the product here at War Wrestling, but the fans as well for supporting it all these years. And especially tonight, getting to see returning favorites, and of course Hot Seat Productions as well.
Well, I want to thank the fans for showing up tonight to at least pay for my paycheck.
Michigan Invasion trying to get Nate Matson, who's taken a lot of punishment in this match. He has been the victim of most of the offense of Hot Seat Productions throughout this tag team match.
That's because Hot Seat Productions has been working smartly, cutting off the ring, keeping him away from his partners, using the ref to their advantage. You might call it bending the rules, but I like it.
I might call that good night, Nate Matson. I haven't seen a clothesline like that in years here in War. I don't know how Matson is able to get out of it.
Well, you know, a clothesline is just a clothesline until Dean Visk hits you with one.
It's like getting hit in the face with a tree trunk and then backed over by a Buick. I don't know where Brian Ireland was going. Nate Matson is beyond no man's land.
This match could end up anywhere with 2 rings. And that's exactly what I think Brian Ireland's trying to do right now.
As long as they don't end up over here. Mr. Main Event stalking Nate Matson.
Honestly, I didn't think you could be getting any smarter than cutting the ring off in half, but just cutting a whole ring out of the equation was smart for Hot Seat Productions.
Well, the rules in the match state you're supposed to stay in one ring, so the question is if you go into the other ring, could you get counted out?
That's a good question, but I honestly always say the rules are merely a suggestion or guideline. I believe with the torque Dean Visk has on that big wrench on the neck and back of Nate Matson. Nate Matson could probably kick himself in the back of the head tomorrow morning.
I am almost positive of what you're saying being true. He's going to need a chiropractor at least, maybe 3 or 4. Nate Matson, to say he needs to get out of this in the worst way is a gross understatement.
Massive jawbreaker by Nate Matson, and honestly, I'm surprised he could pull a maneuver out like that and power up to his feet with Dean Visk holding on to him. In comes Eddie Venom, and in comes Mr. Main Event.
There goes Mr. Main Event. And the Motor City Monster just throwing cinder block like chops. Beautiful swinging neck breaker. And as easily as he got the advantage, down goes Eddie Venom.
A neck breaker is devastating enough, but when you're 6'9" like Eddie Venom, you have a lot further to fall in a neck breaker. So it hurts just that much more.
Eddie stuck out there. Wow!
There's that.
You talk about 6'9" when you're launched that high from a guy who's 6'9". You just kind of bounce between rings.
And Mr. Main Event taking advantage of Eddie Venom from behind.
I don't know that Brian Ireland's not going to need an ambulance after the flight he just took.
He hit that top rope on the other ring, and let me tell you from experience, those ropes are not as springy as they look on TV. They are hard steel wrapped in tape.
Brian Fury goes down as Nate Manson just ended his night, and I would not want to be Mr. Main Event. A sudden realization. Uh-oh. Going for the choke bomb, down he goes. Referee nowhere to be found as an easy pin. 1, 2, 3. Your winners and likely the best faction, at least right now, in War Wrestling history, the Michigan Invasion.
That is debatable.